What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is what's today? It is Monday, September 30th. I'm Sebastian. That's
Brendan
Brendan. This is
Tegethoff.
Listen for Commands. It is a very sad day for me. I no longer hold the record for the worst pro meet live stream. That title has been stripped from me. I am no longer in that chair anymore, and it absolutely devastates me. Moment of silence. Thank you. All right. Anyway, if you were paying any attention to the powerlifting scene this weekend, you know that John Haack was competing. For those of you who don't know, John Haack is arguably the best, is the best powerlifter in the world. I would say even if he didn't hop on gear, he'd still probably be the best powerlifter in the world. Basically what happened is he was competing this weekend and he weighed in super light. He weighed in 192. And so everyone was like locked into his performance because they were looking for that 700 dots. And everyone tuned into the live stream, and this was God the worst powerlifting live stream ever. It could not have been worse. It really could not have been a worse live stream. And listen, I'm throwing stones in a glass house. Okay, I've ran some bad live streams. Okay, but to I've never had John Hack at one of my meets. Like if John Hack was at my meet, I would either hire someone else to do a live stream or I would like invest in like legit stuff to do a live stream. So yeah, so that happened. It was an absolute disaster. Actually, what happened is Johnny Kaufman, who's now our podcasting brethren, he's actually running a phenomenal podcast called No BS, which is like more the untested side of kind of what we're doing. Um, he drove from Chicago to the meet to live stream it from his phone. Which like begs the question why anyone else at that meet couldn't just plug their phone. The director couldn't plug his phone in to run that meet. So yeah, I mean, it it sparks a broader conversation about a lot of things, and I don't want to dunk on the director too much. I mean, I do. I mean, you need to have a if John Hack is at your meet, you need to have a competent live stream. Like you just have to. Like, and it doesn't have to be. My big point is it doesn't have to be fancy. Okay, it does not take a lot to run a very basic live stream. It does take time. You do have to spend a couple hours, like putting things together to run a basic live stream. But there's a couple of things I do want to touch on. Real quick, let me touch on the graphic I posted up with the definitions of words. So this is a little ticky tacky for me personally. I usually hate when people like mince words and like cut things up and really do we really care? We all know what people mean. But people use the words pro and prime time to describe their meats.
Hmm.
Okay. And those words have actual meaning, right? And so just to use those at any point just to define a meat really doesn't work. Okay. So if you're a pro meat means you get paid, right? The pro is short for professional. Professional means you get paid to work. So if we really want professional powerlifters, which is what we all want, this whole podcast is about professional powerlifting. We need to actually use that word properly and pay athletes if they are professionals. Okay, when I ran the pro duel, every single athlete got paid, right, regardless of whether they won or lost, regardless of their performance. So that is, and I still claim it's the only professional meet that's ever happened because it's the only meet where every athlete got paid. And so, like, if you're running a professional meet, everyone needs to get paid. Like, because what happens is that dilutes the meaning of pro. If people with 400 dots are going to a 420, like I saw there was someone with like a 430 dots at this pro meet. Like, you're not a pro. Like, and I'm not a great power lifter. So again, throwing stones in glass houses, but like I'm not gonna be claiming to be a pro. Like, like that's crazy. Like, and like if you want to use some arbitrary number, 500 means you're pro or whatever. At least that's a floor. But like pro has a real meaning. It means you're paid to compete. And actually, if you had a 400 dots and you're competing, you're you're getting paid, you're still a pro. Like you could be absolute dog shit and still get paid. I mean, I think no shade to Noah. Noah's one of my favorite athletes. He did the pro duel. He's got maybe like a 450 dots. I think he was the worst athlete of the pro duel. He got paid to compete, and so he's a pro. Like that's how it works. Like you get paid to compete, you're a pro. So that's just up my craw. But I think it's important that if we're going to use that word, it has to actually mean something. Right.
Mm.
The other thing is the word prime time. So this one's a lot easier because prime time is 7 p.m. It's the prime viewing window. That's all that means. It's not a special status. If you're playing in prime time, it means you're playing when the most people are watching. And so like for people to run prime time sessions at 3 p.m. or like earlier, like those aren't prime time. It's just not prime time. Just don't call it that. Call it premiere, call it the special session, call it whatever you want. It's not a prime time session. So anyway, it's very disappointing to have basically the premier athlete in the sport, probably the best powerlifter of all time, competing, and people not able to watch it. Because I don't care. I saw someone post something ridiculous like you're not entitled to a free live stream if you're at home not participating in the event. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're really not entitled to anything in life, but like it'd be probably a good idea if you're involved, because this was someone who was involved in the organization. If you're involved in the organization, you should probably want your best athletes to be able to be seen, right? Like with commentary on the stream and like, you know, like well lit platform, like actually able to see your like if I'm the federation and my top athletes competing, I'm literally calling up that director and I mean like, what the fuck are you doing? This is our Patrick
Exactly.
Mahomes. This is our Lionel Messi, and this is how you're presenting him to people. Like that's like it's insane. I'm like you can't. You're not allowed to run meets anymore until you fix this because it. And listen, I'm gonna get into how it's easy. I'm gonna talk real quick about how it's easy to kind of work through this stuff. And I'm by no means a live stream expert. I am going to become one because I did have a bad experience. Um, so when I ran the first Pro Duel, I had contracted a company to come do my live stream. I'm a delegator, right? I'm not in the game, right? I'm gonna find someone who's an expert and I'm gonna have them do my stuff. Like that's how I'm good. That's how I want to do it. I don't like I'm not gonna learn all this stuff about broadcast production. So I hired a company. That company canceled last minute. So I was like scrambling. I'm like, I got to figure out how to do this. I bought a bunch of equipment and stuff, and I tried to figure it out. Um, and so it turns out I actually bought most of the stuff was okay. So I bought a really nice camera, and the one of the ports to the camera broke the day of. But I did have a secondary camera that was okay. The biggest issue I ran into is I didn't know the difference between condenser mics and what's the other one? Dynamic.
Yeah,
See,
there's like,
this is your territory.
oh well, like mics. Oh man, this is a hard one for me. There's like the heart mic, then there's like condenser. Oh yeah,
So
yeah. No, I know what problem you would run into in that
right,
scenario because you don't.
what happened is I had this microphone set. They were just like normal microphones, and so they worked fine in testing. And so they worked fine in testing. I had no commentary during the morning session, and so um, everything was working fine. And then I get to the event, and the microphones are like cutting in and out. And so what I didn't realize is that those type of microphones aren't meant like there are certain microphones that are meant for being close up and certain ones that are meant for collecting like more information.
Right.
And so the crowd was so loud that those microphones like you had to like the announcer had to like cover to like talk through the microphone. And so I quickly learned that like there's like dynamic and condenser microphones are different. Like dynamic picks up the wider range, condenser like hones it in like a broadcasting headset. So I learned the hard way. I ended up swapping out the headsets. I had backup headsets. That was good. Um, but I learned a lot doing that. So I kind of have some base knowledge of live stream. So if there's kind of different ways you can do a live stream. And so small, if there's a couple things that go into that too. So like, oh, hello. Sorry, someone's coming into well, our fridge is in the office, so people come and get their stuff here. Um, so there's I kind of have broken it down into tiers of how you can do your live stream. And like you can make a live stream as expensive as you want. I mean, an NFL broadcast costs like $100,000 for them to do. So like um the simplest way to do a live stream is you literally open up your laptop and you you can basically import and crop the lifting cast scoreboard into your live stream software. That's free. It's free live stream software called OBS. You can open up the webcam, you can face it towards the platform and hit like play. And it's very simple. Like, and the scoreboard automatically moves. As long as you have a good internet connection, you're usually fine. Now, I do that for most of my local meets, and you don't need audio for a local meet because you're going to put it on YouTube. And if you hear ambient, because you saw how it said no audio for copyright, if
Mhm.
you hear ambient noise in the background, that audio uh, will uh, could trigger um, copyright, and they'll take down your live stream. So you obviously don't want that to happen. So it's fine if you don't want to do audio. Like I think that's acceptable. The biggest issue is obviously that bordering is ridiculous. like, like come on. Um, like that's unacceptable. Like do the logos on the bottom. If you want to put that many logos on there, do the logos on the bottom and like do them with like transparent backgrounds. And that's actually pretty easy, like fix. Um, but you do the one camera, and then what you can do, you can adjust the settings. So had they adjusted the settings so that that spotlight, like you could have turned down the temperature, you could have turned up you could have done all kinds of things. You could have changed the exposure. You could have done literally anything to fix that particular issue. Because if you watched at the very beginning, they didn't have the lights on. And so you could see pretty clearly what was happening. And then the lights shined and they didn't change the exposure or any of the settings. So yeah, that happened. But if you were going to do this, what I do is I bought uh, a nice camera, or you could buy a nice 4K webcam. Anything you don't have to spend a lot of money to do like a pretty decent broadcast. Um, just to show people, like people just want to see, like, and then because what happens is actually what's funny with the powerlifting meets is everyone just interacts in the comments. So people really don't need the broadcasters, which is nice. It's kind of sad, but it's kind of nice. Um, and so all you need is just kind of the live stream because everyone kind of has their own little community in there. So it's actually kind of cool that it's baked in. But anyway, the kind of the next tier up is like when you add audio. And so in order to add audio, you have to buy a little mixer. And we talked about this. Like you buy a little mixer, you plug your really nice microphone or your nicer microphones into the mixer, you plug the mixer into the computer and you use that. And I got to imagine, even if you spent a lot of money, you're under $1,000 to put in a full audio stream. So like that's I think this meet costs $150 an entry. Like you for the cost of one, two, three, four, five. For the cost of 7 entries, you could have done full audio. And so this is one of the things like I'm also working on with my stuff because the live stream landscape in powerlifting doesn't need to be fixed. But at a local meet, one webcam plugged into the software with the lifting cast is perfectly fine. And then what I think meet directors should do is they should pay someone like you or whoever to be be a commentator on the like one commentator just to talk to people during the live stream in a local meet, and then just to make sure the stream is working well. So like if they're there for 3 hours, you just pay them $15 an hour because just like you don't have to do anything crazy. Like these people usually like I think powerlifting has moved from being a volunteer-based sport where like everyone volunteers for free, which like I've never done. I fuck that shit. But like people still have a volunteerism aspect, but they just need to be paid like a minimum wage. Like $15 an hour just to work is perfectly fair. Um, And then like if you want a higher quality, you pay more for a higher quality. Like I wouldn't mind paying like a live stream operator like $30 if they're really good. If they're switching, if you're switching, like and you're commentating and switching, like $30 an hour is perfectly fair. Like you do all the setup and stuff. Brendan's like, I'll
Ooh,
be there.
I was like, yeah, no, I got that cue because I've already done stuff like that. Like I've done podcasts
It's
where I live edit.
yeah, it's perfectly fair. And then like maybe you have like a commentator with you or something, but like you really can do that pretty easily. Um, but yeah, you need to invest in the hardware and stuff, and that's what we're going to be investing in hardware coming up as well. I've bought some stuff. I've got a decent amount. I've got a nice camera and stuff, but we're going to be doing a pretty advanced setup. But yeah, I mean, and I want to touch on a couple things. So the most important thing for like a good picture on your live stream is lighting. So you have to light the platform. And I'm going to go over lighting real quick. So pretend this is the stage. Okay. And I learned all this from watching like a church video. This is your stage, right? So these are the light. This is facing the stage. You have what's called your wash lights. These are the most important. Your wash lights is like you know how like influencers have the ring light. Like I gotta get a ring light over here. You have your wash lights. They go at a 45-degree angle down here.
Mhm.
Right, that's your wash. Okay, then you have lights from the top that are slightly behind that are called your hair lights. And you put those up top and you put them there. That gives someone like a 3D effect. So you have to have those first. If you don't have those, you can't do these. Because what you'll see is people will put these lights behind the platform. And what that does is it actually washes out the person, right? Because if you have lights behind you, you're not going to be able to see. You have to have your wash lights. Your wash lights come towards the stage here. Then you have to have your hair lights, which go at like a 10-degree angle back here. And then the rest of your lights are like atmospherics. Like you'll see, like if you are to look at my stage, I have the blue atmospheric lights. And
Mhm.
so the blue atmospheric lights just add like pizzazz, right? You can do blue lights, like you can do blue lights off the stage to like come, I guess if the stage is here, they're like over here. Like that can provide atmosphere, but you can do all that stuff. But you need to have your wash lights first. And so they had the wash lights, they just didn't adjust the exposure. Um, so yeah. Or they were just too bright or whatever. Um, But yeah, you have to have lighting because that'll make if you don't have good lighting, it doesn't matter how nice your camera is. Then you can buy a pretty basic 4K camera for like $150. I wouldn't do that. I would spend more money than that. Um, and then as far as audio goes, we talked about this. You get a little Rodecaster, you plug in your broadcast headsets, and you're pretty much good to go.
Right.
And then you can do all and everything else besides that is over is like extra stuff. Like if you want to have a someone walking around doing interviews, you want to have a floating camera, you can add all that stuff in. Um, Graphics, motion graphics, switching multiple cameras. That's all. Like you don't need that stuff. Like you just I think it's all nice. It's great. But in order of importance, it's the lighting, the video quality, the sound, then it's probably stuff like intermission shows and free game shows to keep people engaged. And then all those multiple camera angles and switching. Because the whole point of a broadcast is to make you feel like you're there. Like that's the main point of a broadcast. You want to make people feel like they're there. You want to give people a like a picture of the atmosphere and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, that is something that we should every meet should have a live stream, period. Um it can be low frills, but it needs to have just a basic live stream. Pro meets for sure need to either need to have a rock solid production or you need to pay someone to come do your live stream. Um, and then the debate right now is between paid and free. And I touched on this in the last show. Um, I don't think you should be offering a free live stream without ads. Like that's just crazy. Like really, actually, what you should do is you don't have to go to you should there's no reason to go to YouTube in the powerlifting world for a live stream. Like you can run a live stream on like a private server through a website for a couple bucks and you can avoid all the copyright issues. Because for those of you who don't know, like there's something called fair use. So if you're playing the music loud and it's in the foreground of your video, that can be copyright. If the music's in the background and it's a small percentage of the work of art, which is what it's called, you can play whatever the fuck you want. It's called fair use. You can't no one's no one's watching the video to listen to that ambient music in the background. So that's what Abs did. They charge $5, which is fine for a meat of that caliber. Um, and like, dude, you this coffee was $5. Like, come on. Like, do you want the sport to grow or not? Like anyone who's like, oh, we shouldn't charge for live streams and stuff, nuts. Like like you need to make you don't not necessarily need to charge, you have to make some money. Um, would you pay $5 for a live stream?
Yeah, I would. And that's the thing. It's like I know that it's not the most glorified prospect for you to come out and be like, "Hey, guys, we got to start paying $5 for a live stream." But you said it perfect. Do you want the sport to grow or not? That's the bottom
No, and,
line.
and I've actually found a middle ground. What I think we should do, and I've talked about this, is we should charge $5, $6 a month for a subscription service, and then have the meets on a platform. And then if
Yeah.
you had, I mean, there's probably 10,000 powerlifting fans. If you had 10,000 powerlifting fans subscribed, that's 60K a month. That's $720,000 a year. You could run a professional, you could run a professional broadcast, like professional broadcast at every single event, like easily for that. So I think that's definitely the path forward. As far as like monetizing production is charging some sort of subscription to do that. Um, and then you would definitely I mean that you need to have other content on there. You need to have like podcasts and shows and highlights. But I think you could do that pretty easily. There's a website called Poker Go, which I used to be subscribed to because I'm a big poker fan. And when you the the it's all poker stuff. So it's all these poker events. They're all like they run their own events and then they actually produce the events, broadcast the events and stuff. And so there's a cool little mix there. But I think that's maybe probably the future of what we're gonna see from powerlifting stuff. But I want to touch on untested real quick. And then I guess we'll probably wrap things up. I'm pretty much done talking about stuff. We got untested. Abs just announced that they're expanding the Reach Rumble. Um, as you know, the Reach Rumble was originally designed to be just a heavyweight thing. So basically, it was just biggest total wins. That's the theory. And so I actually disagree with this theory. Um, People go, oh, people want to watch the when you go to the zoo, you want to watch the gorillas, right? And that's true, but I kind of like the alligators too. I like the variety. I like seeing different kind of animals. And so I don't necessarily think that theory holds water, especially because one of powerlifting's unique aspects is that people in different weight classes can still like people of different like sizes can all be competitive. I think that's cool. Different genders too. So they're expanding to more weight classes. So I'm super excited for that to see what they do. Obviously, their big thing is production, right? Production over everything.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that goes. That's not going to be till next October, but it will be a very cool thing to see what they do. Already a year out from that. Speaking of like talking about things too far in advance, that's crazy. They've got a bunch of other stuff overseas that they're going to be working on. So excited about that. And then I haven't really heard any information about anything on the untapped. I'm just gonna have to run an event, honestly, just so we have something to talk about in this on the untested. I mean, that's crazy because like we got October, November. I got three local meets, October, November, December. I'll have to run something in January, just for funsies. Maybe I'll do another pro duel or something, um,
Mhm.
just to keep something going on. That's probably what I'm gonna do.
In the untested division, are we talking?
No, it'll be a PA. But
Uh, the untested division, if
an
we
untested pro duel would be really cool. Like John Hack, Captain. So I did talk to the abs guy about that because I'm like, dude, John Hack has been like competing against himself forever. And I think he's got this Colton guy he's competing with. I gotta find out. but he's been competing against himself for a while. And I was like, oh, if he could lead his team into battle, Team America into
Yeah,
battle, I'm like, that would be
exactly.
so cool. Yeah,
That's the
Team
type
USA
of
versus the
thing.
world. That's my dream. Team USA versus the world. Because Team USA mops at every international event because it's an American sport. Powerlifting is like, for those of you who don't know, powerlifting was founded in America. Powerlifting is like the most American sport. Like there are very few sport like which sport? Football was not founded in America. I guess kind of. Soccer, no. Hockey, no. Basketball was.
Hmm. That's
Oh, I thought no. I
yeah.
thought it was founded in Canada. I thought that was Canada.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's a good question. We have to look into that because I don't know. It's very American and it's very American dominated, but I don't know if it's like the first thing to pop to mind.
Uh,
It's the first thing to pop into my mind when I think about
what sports were
America.
created? Oh, okay, basketball. Yeah, volleyball. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but not no ma the only major sport is basketball. For some reason,
This is gonna make me sound stupid, but what about baseball?
no.
Where's where was that created?
Baseball.
It's called America's pastime. So it's like I gotta assume it's like American based was based.
Maybe it was. It says it is, but I'm surprised that didn't show up in the first one.
Oh it's true. It was founded in
No,
Cooperstown,
but
New
it says
York.
there are folk games in Britain and early Ireland. Yeah, I mean there are pictures from like Britain and early Ireland. So I don't.
They probably were doing like cricket over there or something.
Well, no, but
That
that's the origins of it.
right.
Like that
Yeah.
doesn't really count.
Yeah, I guess. But point being, powerlifting among them as one of those sports that's super American dominated. That's why we gotta continue. We gotta try to get this thing universal.
Exactly. Yeah, super. Yeah, I like the idea of I mean, I don't know why it's so. I'm trying to figure out why it's so international based. I did hear there's something I've read somewhere that like they estimate 1 million people in Russia powerlift.
Hmm,
Like
that's crazy.
yeah, I gotta look this up.
That doesn't surprise me at all. There's not much else
Like
to
it's
do.
their sport basically.
Hmm. I mean, like think about it and from the perspective of how it would tie into the personalities of the citizens of the members of the society. It kind of does make
Eight
sense.
percent of their population. Oh, hold, 11 countries where powerlifting is the most popular. Texas. It's a we gotta do some we gotta contract some polling on powerlifting to figure out like where it's at. Oh, the United States is one, Russia two, Ukraine three, yeah, like the Eastern Bloc. In the United States, powerlifting endures a broad grassroots base, significant competitive platforms like the USAPL, RIP. This is an old article.
Yeah, must have been outdated.
American fitness culture. Love that. Yeah, I gotta get to work. Oh, gotta read through our powerlifting. The Reddit. Have you ever been
R
on our
slash power.
powerlifting on Reddit?
Uh,
Our slash
yeah, no. I actually tried to
dark
promote a
fucking
video.
side, bro. Dark side.
Yeah, dude, they're mean. I like I tried to promote one of the videos, like one of my first podcasts on r slash powerlifting. And before it even went up, it just like I got an automated message that like gave me a list of like 5 options as to why my thing got taken down. And one of them said, "4, it's just shit." I'm like,
No, no, that's an automatic. You have to like.
relax.
There's a certain thing you have to do to.
Yeah, you have to be like either like have some kind of money invested or be like a longtime member. I don't know. They like each Reddit community has like a guideline for posting, whether it's open or not.
Yeah.
So they gave me that. I'm also in r slash powerlifting memes. That's a good
Oh, that's
one.
dangerous. That's fucking dangerous.
Come on. You would be perfect for that community though.
I'm so good. I'm too good. Literally any topic, I can crank one out in minutes.
Yeah, you'd be pretty popular in that one.
Minutes. Oh, I actually have to go. I have to go follow.
That one you could
Yeah,
post for
so
sure.
I'm looking at Hacks performance in r slash powerlifting. Actually, they have a good video of it there. That's good.
Hmm.
Colton Engelbrecht, I think is his closest competitor. I think they are competing somewhere. This is what we should make this a segment where we read one of the like whatever's going on there. That's how we'll get our news.
Read through r slash. Yeah, no. I mean,
Well, no, I mean you got basic stuff. You got gel dropping down to 66 for Sheffield. We talked about that. Um, obviously John Hack competing. Um, the IPF lawsuit against Article 14 is moving forward. I don't think, yeah, well, let's talk about that, I guess, real quick. So there, I just don't know. I, suing them is not going to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Okay. It's not going to do anything. It's just not because even if they do win, it just takes away money from an organization that's funded by the members. So if they get civil damages, what are they doing with the civil damages? Like, I just want to know, like, okay, they sue, they win, there's going to be damages. What are they going to do with that money? Is that money going back to the lifters? Like, what's your commit? Like, I want to see what your I want a commitment that that money's going back to lifting in some capacity.
hmm. 'Cause you never know.
Because remember, that money is coming. That's our money. We're members. If you're a member of Powerlifting America and you're a member of the IPF, that money's coming from you. You're paying for both sides of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I guess I've never really like I I kind of thought about this, but I never really really thought about it. If you're paying for the legal funds to sue to remove this, you're paying both sides. You're like the US, like the US. No, I'm gonna make that meme. That meme's coming out.
Oh, yes, finally.
The meme where it's like my tax dollars, also my tax. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna cook
we
all
just
this.
had we just had a live light bulb for Seabass memes. It's like a beautiful thing to be able to document on camera. I can't believe it. That's like the perfect segment at the end of a podcast. It doesn't get any better than that.
I'm so making this meme. Wait, where is um it's is it oh the Iron Dome. I think it's the Iron Dome picture. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Got it.
Boom. It's in the works already, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm making it in real time while we talk about. So it's gonna say donating to the IPF. Um,
Bet this is the last thing y'all expected at the end of this podcast, huh?
correct. So here, so yeah, okay, there. It's like horizontal though. So I'm gonna do text. There we go. Okay. Um, paying for membership in an IPF affiliate. Does that get the point across? The point is, it's your money either way. Everyone loses. Like there's no winning. You can't. So here. So this isn't that statement isn't don't take any action. It's that the action is the wrong action. So it's an IPF rule. The IPF is the governing body. If you want change to happen, you have to elect different representatives to change the game, right? All of these people who are super loud on social media about wanting change didn't show up at the NGB. And so if you don't show up at the NGB to vote for different people, you're not going to be able to change um, the game. And so, like, and again, the even on top of that, the biggest solution is if you don't like Article 14, just don't compete in the IPF. Just go somewhere else. Like you're not entitled to a pilot. You're not legally obligated to compete in a piloting organization. Because guess what? If Article 14 does go away, they're just going to make a different rule. They're going to make a different rule. Like they're like that's how it works. Like if it doesn't, if they if it's they're going to redo the ruling, they're going to say, hey, if you want to compete at Worlds, which is all the Article 14 matters about, if you want to compete at Worlds, you have to sign this contract that says you're not going to compete elsewhere, and then you're done. You're going to be done either way. Like so, yeah. So maybe we shouldn't go on r/penalty because it's going to get me like ranting.
It's gonna give too much content.
And like it's just yeah, it's just like you're paying lawyers. That's what it is. The money's just going to lawyers. That's it. We're enriching lawyers. Like oh, ah, whatever. I don't. I have nothing. I have nothing else to say today. This is a good one though. This is good. We got a couple things out, a couple different topics. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm trying to get. So Craig wants to come on. Michael wants to come back on. A bunch of reoccurring guests want to come back on. We're obviously looking for new people. If you're a listener, we'll literally almost everyone who's a listener has some stake in the powerlifting game. We'd love to have you on. We're looking for more people to talk to on different perspectives. Powerlifting is a small sport, so it's not like we're going to say no. Like if you have something, if you literally are involved in the sport in any way, like we had Max on,
Yeah.
like like we had Max, and Max is just like a super fan, but it's fun. It's like fun to have different people with different perspectives on. Max knows more about powerlifting than a lot of people I know. So yeah, if you're listening, we'll love to have you on. Follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah,
Um,
all that fun stuff. But Seabass is 100% right. I mean, the whole point of the podcast is to spark discussion. So if you don't agree with like anything that Seabass is saying, I'm saying it's like hop on. Hop on the podcast. It's
come into
like,
the Thunder. We do, dude. Okay, so I did message a new member of the USAPL exec committee, and I'm like, hey, like, here's your chance. He's like, yeah, I just got involved. I don't want to like speak too soon. I'm like, well, then don't talk about what's going on. Talk about your vision. Like, tell me what your. I should follow up with him. Um, like, what's your vision? Like, what do you want? What do you think USAPL is going to be doing? Like, how are you going to fix the issues? Like, and so yeah. Anyway, I'd love for to get detractors on. I'm sure we'll get so Jay from Abs is pretty anti Article 14, so I'd love to we'll get him on to talk about it
that'd
as
be
well.
beautiful.
But obviously I think I've literally told him before, I'm like, stop wasting your energy on Article 14 and spend your energy on creating amazing events, and Article 14 won't matter. Like Article 14 only matters because the IPF is considered the best federation right now. Once someone else does something else relevant, no one's gonna care.
Mhm.
And Article 14 will go away because the IPF is gonna want people to switch. They're gonna want people to have a path back. So
Yeah, and who's in the most perfect position to what do you want to say? Rival the IPF? It's abs.
I mean, I
So
would say it's still USAPL. It's not ABS because ABS is all untested stuff. But like
okay.
USAPL, just needs to if the USAPL just got their shit together, they could. But I just don't. I don't think they will. It's too much. Every federation kind of has the same issue. It's all ran by committee. There's no like one. There's no Dana White, and so it's
Hmm.
all ran by committees. And so because it's ran by committee, and like there's no strong leader, and there's no figurehead, that nothing gets done. And so I mean that's kind of by design. But like USAPL kind of has the opportunity to like do what they want. So
Yeah.
that's my take. This was Listen for Commands. I'm Sebastian,
Brenda Tegetov, as always.
and we will see you Thursday.
Yeah. Peace out, guys.